Okay, so now that we have created topics, we actually need to send data to them, right? So we are going to learn the Kafka console producer command line. And so if you're on Linux, it's .sh. If you're on Mac, on Windows, it's .bat. So just go with what you know. And so we have to launch it. So we press enter. And just like before, we get access to the documentation of this command. And so the documentation gives us a lot of options. And you don't need to know about everything. You need to be able to read them. But as we can see, the broker list command is required. And this is the one we'll use. So this is where we'll specify Kafka brokers. Now in the bottom, you can see that there is another one that is required, right here, required, which is topic. Obviously, when you want to produce a topic, you need to give a topic name to produce message to. Okay, so we are going to launch our first Kafka console producer. And the first option is broker list. Now, broker list has to connect to Kafka. So 127.0.0.1, and the port of Kafka is 9092. As mentioned, a required argument is topic, and we will produce to our first topic. Now we press enter. And if everything goes well, you see a little caret on the left-hand side, okay? So that means we're ready to produce. So I can say, hello, Stéphane. Stéphane is my name. Awesome course, like this. And we can say, oh, I'm learning Kafka, right? And just another message. And a little smiley face. Okay, so we have produced 4 messages. And there was no errors. Now, if you press Ctrl-C, you're good. It just stopped the console producer. So this is one way of doing things. We will look at a console consumer in the very next lecture. Okay, but right now, just trust me, if you haven't received any errors, then it's been producing. If you get errors, just Google it or look through the FAQ lectures where the frequently questions are asked. Maybe you'll get the answer there. Okay, so now that we're ready, we can also have properties. So the idea is that right now our console producer uses a bunch of default properties. But remember I mentioned about, for example, the ax property, where we can set it right here. We do -- producer property ax equals all. And you can set up anything you want here. Retries ax, and we'll look at the documentation to know the list of properties. But so far, we can add additional properties to our producer using the -- property, producer property option. So press enter. And again, we get that little caret starting, so that's great. And now we can just write a new message, so some message that is act, okay? Just for fun, it's fun learning, okay? So all of this works, and now I can exit it. Now there is something you should know about the Kafka console producer that I haven't mentioned yet. So let's start a Kafka console producer, and the broker list is 127.0.0.1.9092. You'll get the hang of it, I promise. And the topic is going to be new topic. And so it's just how I named it, okay? But basically this topic, new topic, does not exist yet. It's not being created in Kafka yet. So what happens if we start sending a message to this topic? So we say, hey, this topic does not exist, and press enter. Now we get a little warning. This warning right here says, error while fetching metadata with correlation ID 1, new topic is called leader not available. And so you may say, oh, this is bad. It hasn't worked. Well, let's try again. Another message, and press enter. And this time we get no warnings. So what happened here? And this is one of the most common issues that I see in Kafka. So if you go to the second tab, you can see that basically this new topic was created, okay? And somehow producing to a topic that did not exist before created it. Now, because it gets created, but there was no leader election that happened yet, we get this exception, leader not available. But as I said, the producers, they're able to recover from errors. And so it just tried and waited until the leader was available, and then it produced a message. So this is why you get a warning, okay? It's not an error, it's a warning. Now, if I exit this out and I run my Kafka topics command, I told you this would come handy. So 127.0.0.1.2181, so this is Zookeeper, and we run a list. Now we see that we have first topic and new topic that have been created. So what is this new topic comprised of? Well, if we do topic, new topic, and then we run a describe on it, we're going to get more information about that topic. So I press enter, and we see that this new topic has one partition and 1 replication factor. So these are the defaults when you produce to a topic that does not exist. And usually this is not what you want. You want higher replication factor and you want a higher partition count. And so the idea is that when you produce to a topic that doesn't exist, you'll see that error and you know right away that this topic was not created before. So my recommendation to you is to always create a topic beforehand, okay, before producing to it. Otherwise, it'll get created with some defaults that are usually not good. Now, if you wanted to change the default, you go into your favorite text editor and you would edit server.properties file. And at the bottom, so as we scroll down in it, we can see that there is here log basics. There's a num partitions equals 1, and we can set this to maybe 3. So now by default, if the topic doesn't exist, it will create 3 partitions. Okay, so this all looks good. The rest looks good. I exit and save. And so now if I stop my Kafka broker using Control-C, and then once it's shut down, I restart it, okay? If I now produce to a topic, so I'll call it new topic 2, and I'll just produce to it. So let's use the Kafka console producer. I'll call it new topic 2, and I'll say hello world, okay? We get the same error, but now if we exit and we run a list of Kafka topics on our cluster, we can see new topic 2 was created. So now we can describe it. So new topic 2 minus describe. And as you can see now, it has 3 partitions. So because we changed a default configuration. So overall, you can change that and get a default partition of 3. But overall, I recommend you actually manually create the topics every time before producing to them. That is best practice. Okay? So that's about it for Kafka Producer. You know all about it, at least in the CLI. And in the next lecture, we'll start consuming our data using Kafka Console Consumer.